And welcome back. Well, we kind of went over the article. We found out that these days there's a lot of sanctions being imposed on Russia because of the war that's happening. And these sanctions have created possibly a lot of economic harm, but among those are a lot of big companies, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Starbucks in the title, have been pulling out of Russia in droves. And it's completely had a drop in those services, complete billions of dollars lost by these companies. And we're just kind of wondering if it's gonna work or not, because these days, even though the poverty has been increasing, the ruble has also been increasing. So kind of an interesting situation there.
Yeah, I mean, I read even Sephora pulled out of Russia.
Not Sephora.
As a makeup junkie myself, that was what terrified me.
Okay, makeup. When you were there, was Sephora like your thing?
Actually, Sephora had not yet come to Russia when I was there. Then it arrived, and now it's gone again. It was there for only a brief amount of time.
You wanted to get in real quick, yeah.
And then they had to go.
That must have been difficult.
I would have been heartbroken. Yes, life without Sephora is just not worth living.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about Russian friends earlier, living there. So if you could talk to these Russian friends, what would they be saying?
I think right now they're mostly saying, we've copied all these American products already, so we can still buy them. They can still buy Coca-Cola. It's just not brand name Coca-Cola. They have their own burger chains. They have their own sort of fast food, their own coffee shops. So I don't think they feel like they're missing out much. In fact, it might even be giving more money to the Russian brand version of these traditional American products.
Kind of keeping the ruble in the ruble area rather than letting it go international.
Buy homegrown?
Yeah. It may have been from you. I've heard a very similar thing of like people just, it's already there. You don't need to have the real thing because the copy is both good and maybe perfect.
Well, I mean, it feels good to buy local. You know, I think I see those signs in Britain, you know, buy local, buy the local brand, not the imported one. So maybe they even feel better about buying their local product.
Do you think twice about buying a brand from overseas company or local?
Since coming to Korea, and I became aware about this idea of buy local, and I really have tried, yes. Because it saves money too. You're not paying import tax on foreign products.
Yeah, it's a given. It's sometimes in America it's cheaper, and then sometimes it's much more expensive. Just depends.
Some quintessential American products like burgers. I mean, can the Russian copy really be as good as a classic, truly American burger?
It depends on how they make it. I mean, they're probably going to make it to Russian taste anyway, so it can be just as delicious for them. Maybe even more.
Do you think that this economic pressure can make Putin change his mind about the war in Ukraine?
I would have to say there's this thing, terrible thing, but sometimes I guess it's good, called pride. And that's just not going to happen. I think a lot of leaders around the world have a sort of pride in both themselves, their country, things like that. And I don't think any economic pressure is going to hurt Putin enough to make him change his mind. In fact, from what I can tell in his mind, this is actually making Russia stronger as a nation which can be self-sufficient in a world that is globalized. And I think that's exactly what America has tried to do recently. The UK has tried to do recently. So it seems to be a trend, but Russia is definitely taking it to a new level. Let's take a look at those vocab words, and we'll see you in the next unit. Bye.
Annihilation.
Annihilation.
Unleash.
Unleash.
Heinous.
Heinous.
Quintessential.
Quintessential.
Stint.
Stint.